Carter G Woodson was one of the first scholars to study the history of the African diaspora. Dr. Woodson is known by many as the father of Black history. In February 1926, he launched the first ever celebration of Negro history called Negro History Week. 1926 till now, 2023, is 97 years, 3 years shy of a century. In 1976, President Gerald Ford signed into law Black History Month, exactly 50 years later from the birth of Dr. Woodson's Black History Week.
This is Black History like you've never heard before.
It is time for a change in Black history. The awareness and enlightenment have served their purpose. In the year 2026, 50 years will have passed since the birth of Black History Month. Before delving into the observations and words of Dr. Woodson, allow me to suggest to you the brilliant calculated control of Black History Month. Most scholars agree that February was chosen because of Abraham Lincoln and Frederick Douglass. Those facts warrant consideration, but fail to reveal the limitations of the month of February. I have created several videos identifying the origin of the month of February. The following video is from my archives of documentaries on my YouTube channel, just enough for you to ascertain why February fits along with all other psychological acts of racism and United States governmental control.
The Hebrew calendar is the calendar system used by the ancient Hebrew people. The ancient Hebrew calendar system is based on the moon being a lunar system as opposed to the sun being a solar system of marking time. The current Gregorian calendar system was created by Pope Gregory XIII in the year 1582 AD. And in the year 1752 AD, the British Calendar Act was signed, creating the current secular solar calendar that exists today. However, the calendar that exists today was also changed by Pope Gregory XIII in 1582 AD. Here is what both calendars look like during the monumental changes. The original goal of the Gregorian calendar was to change the date of Easter. In 1582, when Pope Gregory XIII introduced his Gregorian calendar, Europe adhered to the Julian calendar, first implemented by Julius Caesar in 46 BC. Since the Roman emperor's system miscalculated the length of the solar year by 11 minutes, the calendar had since fallen out of sync with the seasons. This concerned Gregory because it meant that Easter, traditionally observed on March 21st, fell further away from the spring equinox with each passing year. Ironically enough, prior to the Gregorian calendar introduced onto the world stage, the Julian calendar of Julius Caesar reformed the calendar system to January 1st in 46 BC. Prior to Julius Caesar's calendar reform, March 25th was the beginning of the new year. Now, the ironic part about this is the scriptures designate Nisan, or March in the Gregorian calendar, as the beginning of the year. Nisan is the beginning of the year because it marks a great move of the Most High, delivering his people from bondage. Spring marks a new beginning, a fresh start, actually leaping forward. Take a look at the month January. The name, like 100% of ancient paganism, skillfully incorporated into the Christian belief system, does not honor the Most High. January gets its name from Janus, the Roman god of beginnings. For the Christian, the name January itself is a violation of every principle of belief and practice of the esteemed scriptures. How can it be that Christians, along with the secular world, would gather in a church building allegedly praying in the new year of January? January and February were months added by the Julius Caesar calendar reform in 46 BC.
Originally, each month has a 29 or 30-day cycle based on the lunar conjunctions. The Hebrew month is tied to an excellent measurement of the average time taken by the moon to cycle from lunar conjunction to lunar conjunction. The cycle of the moon is significant because the Most High himself makes reference to the heavenly bodies.
And Elohim said, "Let lights come to be in the expanse of the heavens, to separate the day from the night, and let them be for signs and appointed times, and for days and years."
Strong's H2320. Chodesh. Chodesh. Strong's H3391. Yarech. Yarech. Strong's H3394. Yarech. Yarech. Strong's H3842. Lebanah. Lebanah. Each one of those Hebrew words is translated month, which means moon, or moon, which means month, in the ancient Hebrew translation of the scriptures.
Okay. But what I do want to go back to is Black History Month. This is actually the first time you've seen me in a Black History Month shirt, all Black History Month. And it's very intentional. And I really just threw this shirt on because I didn't have another shirt to throw on. But Black History Month, at some point, can we get rid of it? At some point? Why we got to keep getting the shortest month to celebrate our history? You got governors want to take our history out of schools. And I'm not going to be the fool to go say, yeah, we can celebrate it for 28 days. So at some point, I'd like to get rid of it. It's, we're making all these changes in the world. Can't talk about these people, can't talk about those people, can't say this, can't say that. At some point, it's time to get rid of Black History Month. I get rid of Black history, like they're trying to do. But Black History Month, nah. Teach my history from January 1st to December 31st, and then do it again, and then again, and then again, and then again. That's what I like to see.
Black History Month you find
Ridiculous.
why?
You're going to relegate my history to a month?
Oh, come on.
What do you do with yours? Which month is White History Month? No,
Well-
come on, tell me.
Well, I'm Jewish.
Okay, which month is Jewish History Month?
There isn't one.
Oh, why not?
Yeah.
Do you want one?
No.
No, all right, I don't either. I don't want a Black History Month. Black history is American history.
How are we going to get rid of racism until...
Stop talking about it. I'm going to stop calling you a white man.
Yeah.
And I'm going to ask you to stop calling me a black man. I know you as Mike Wallace. You know me as Morgan Freeman.
What these famous black men fail to see is the shortest month of the Gregorian year is by design of the will of the Most High. The body politics and American education system falls within the divine will of the Most High. Behold the scriptures.
Thus you shall become an astonishment, a proverb, and a mockery among all the people to which Yahuwah drives you.
And the prediction of the plight of the black people continues.
You shall serve your enemies whom Yahuwah sends against you, in hunger, and in thirst, and in nakedness, and in need of all. And he shall put a yoke of iron on your neck until he has destroyed you.
Mind you, until he has destroyed you does not mean annihilation. Instead, reduced you to nothing in a world of separatism and racism. Does this not speak of the black man and woman in the United States of America? And one more deep prediction of the fate of black people.
And among those nations you are to find no rest, nor have a resting place for the sole of your foot. But there Yahuwah shall give you a trembling heart, and failing eyes, and sorrow of being.
This describes the trials and tribulations of black people the world over, but it describes our suffering in America implicitly ever since the transatlantic slave trade. This heavy prediction not only reveals who we are in the Bible, but the true essence of why our people have suffered heavy ancestral rejection, prejudice, death, hate, and racism. Because the Most High predicted our lives will go the path of the greatest hate sanctioned by the supposed greatest nation on earth nowadays, the United States of America. Only by careful study of the Negro himself and the life which he is forced to lead can we arrive at the proper procedure in this crisis. The mere imparting of information is not education. Above all things, the effort must result in making a man think and do for himself, just as the Jews have done in spite of universal persecution. Negroes who have been so long inconvenienced and denied opportunities for development are naturally afraid of anything that sounds like discrimination. They are anxious to have everything the white man has, even if it is harmful. The possibility of originality in the Negro, therefore, is discounted 100% to maintain a nominal equality. If the whites decide to take up Mormonism, the Negroes must follow their lead. If the whites neglect such a study, then the Negroes must do likewise. The author, however, does not have such an attitude. He considers the educational system as it has developed both in Europe and America an antiquated process which does not hit the mark, even in the case of the needs of the white man himself. If the white man wants to hold on to it, let him do so. But the Negro, so far as he is able, should develop and carry out a program of his own. The so-called modern education, with all its defects, however, does others so much more good than it does the Negro, because it has been worked out in conformity to the needs of those who have enslaved and oppressed weaker peoples. For example, the philosophy and ethics resulting from our educational system have justified slavery, peonage, segregation, and lynching. The Negro's mind has been brought under the control of his oppressor. The problem of holding the Negro down, therefore, is easily solved. When you control a man's thinking, you do not have to worry about his actions. You do not have to tell him not to stand here or go yonder. He will find his proper place and will stay in it. You do not need to send him to the back door. He will go without being told. In fact, if there is no back door, he will cut one for his special benefit. His education makes it necessary.
Feeling heavy, bringing out bangers like a pulley. Levy, heavyweight fighter, got him dizzy. Henny, leave the opposition feeling pissy. Petty, they don't want no pressure, we apply for free. Have the heathen feel impressed like we was playing the keys. Stay in line, never crossing like a lowercase t. Sipping on tea while hitting hole-in-ones from a T.
When the fire come down, we the only ones that don't burn. We the last man standing. Hope you will when it's your turn. I see no world's demise through my own eyes, yeah. And I put on the whole armor, God. Blessed man, still standing, still standing, still standing, still standing. Still standing, still standing.
My brother, be strong in the Lord and the power of his might. Put on the whole armor of God, that ye may be able to stand against the wiles of the devil. For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of darkness of this world.